You want the truth? The real truth? Success isn't for everyone. Not because it's exclusive, but because most people will never become the kind of person success requires. Most people want the result, but they resist the responsibility. They want the glory, but not the grind. They wish for transformation, but refuse the truth. You must die to the person you were, so you can give birth to the person you could be. That's the part nobody wants to hear. Success, real, lasting, soul-deep success, isn't something you chase. It's something you attract, by the person you become. That's not just a nice quote. It's a law. A law as real as gravity. And you violate it at your own expense. You don't get what you want. You get what you are. The person who wakes up at 11 a.m. with no plan for the day, who scrolls through dopamine traps and waits for motivation like it's a miracle drug, that person is not going to manifest a new life. Not because they don't deserve it, but because they haven't built the character required to hold it. You want to earn more? Then become more valuable. You want more freedom? Then become more disciplined. You want to be respected? Then live like someone who respects themselves. That's the formula. Simple. Not easy. But always true. See, life doesn't give you what you think you deserve. Life responds to the standards you enforce, not the goals you write down on January 1st and abandon by February. And success doesn't come to those who talk about it. It comes to those who live in alignment with it when no one's watching. When it's hard. When it's boring. When it's raining. When it's inconvenient. When no one claps for you. That's when success takes notes. Let me tell you something no one told me when I was younger. Your life today is the harvest of seeds you planted or failed to plant years ago. If you're undisciplined, unmotivated, surrounded by low-energy people, living beneath your potential, that is not an accident. That is the consequence of habits tolerated, excuses repeated, standards lowered, and responsibility avoided. But here's the beauty of truth: it might sting, but it sets you free. Because once you accept that your results are your responsibility, you gain the power to change everything. Blame takes the power out of your hands. Responsibility puts it back. And that's where everything begins. Because until you take full ownership, not partial, not conditional, not yeah, but you'll keep repeating the same year over and calling it a life. Most people don't want to grow. They want comfort. They want safety. They want permission to stay small and still feel good about it. But let me ask you, what is the cost of staying small? How many dreams died last year because someone chose comfort over courage? How many times did you talk yourself out of greatness because it felt unfamiliar? You think staying in your comfort zone protects you? No. It punishes you slowly. You don't notice it at first. It shows up as hesitation, then procrastination, then self-doubt, then regret. Quiet at first. But regret has a voice that gets louder with age. Discipline might sting today, but regret haunts you forever. So here's the real truth: every day, you are either preparing or you are pretending. You're either becoming stronger or making excuses. You're either building a future or escaping the present. And the great tragedy is that most people never decide to live deliberately. They drift. They consume. They react. They wait. And one day, they look in the mirror and can't recognize the person staring back. That's not what you were made for. You were made to build. To grow. To contribute. To dominate your fears, master your impulses, and craft a life that reflects your highest self, not your laziest version. But that life has a cost. It demands discipline. Discipline is the bridge between who you are and who you could be. And the thing about that bridge? No one can walk it for you. No mentor, no coach, no book, no video, not even this one. You must wake yourself up. You must face the mirror. You must develop the internal fire that says, enough. Enough wasting time. Enough numbing your potential. Enough talking about it and not being about it. Because every day you delay your discipline, you delay your destiny. Success isn't reserved for the lucky or the gifted. It's earned by the consistent, the resilient, the responsible. So if you want to change your life, don't start by changing your circumstances. Start by changing your standards. Raise the standard for how you treat your time. Raise the standard for how you take care of your body. Raise the standard for who you let speak into your life. Raise the standard for the words you speak, especially to yourself. That's where transformation begins, with your philosophy. Jim Rohn said it best, if you will change, everything will change for you. Not if the economy changes. Not if your boss changes. Not if your past magically rewrites itself. If you change. And that kind of change doesn't come from hoping. It comes from deciding. From saying, I'm done with the old me. From choosing long-term growth over short-term pleasure. From drawing a line in the sand and saying, that was the last day I lived beneath my potential. No one is coming to save you. That's the hard truth. But that's also the good news. Because if no one is coming, it means you don't have to wait anymore. The door is unlocked. The path is open. But you've got to walk it. Not once. Not when it's easy. Every single day. You don't become great by doing what's easy. You become great by doing what's necessary. And the necessary things are usually the ones you resist. Waking up early when you feel tired. Showing up when you don't feel like it. Being honest about your weaknesses. Saying no to distractions. Saying yes to growth, even when it's painful. That's how transformation happens. In quiet choices. In daily disciplines. In lonely moments where no one's watching and the world gives you a chance to cut corners, but you refuse. Because you're no longer living by feelings. You're living by values. You're no longer seeking comfort. You're seeking character. And the people who live like that? They don't chase success. They attract it. Because they've become the kind of person success trusts. You want to know why most people never make it? Because they build their lives around emotion, not values. They wait to feel like doing the work. They wait to feel motivated. They wait to feel ready. And that's exactly why they stay stuck. If you only act when you feel like it, you forfeit your power. Discipline is the ability to act in spite of feelings, not in alignment with them. And discipline is freedom. That's what most people miss. They think discipline is restriction. It's not. It's refinement. Discipline is the structure that supports your greatness. It's the silent force that builds confidence brick by brick, because every time you do what you said you'd do, even when you didn't feel like it, you build trust with yourself. And self-trust is the foundation of all personal power. You can't lead yourself to a better life if you don't trust your own word. You can't become consistent in the world if you're still inconsistent in the dark. And that's where it always begins. In the dark. In the silence. In the small moments no one claps for. That's where character is forged. That's where champions are built. And here's what the world won't tell you. The real reward of success isn't what you get. It's who you become. The cars, the homes, the income, the status, those are just symbols. But the substance is the man or woman you had to become to earn them. The discipline you had to practice. The decisions you had to make. The people you had to outgrow. The late nights you didn't post about. The early mornings when no one believed in you. That's the real prize. That's the gold. Because the material can be taken away. But character, that's yours forever. And when you build character first, success doesn't just show up, it stays. That's the mistake most people make. They want the treasure without becoming the kind of person who can carry it. So they self-sabotage. They win for a moment and collapse under the weight of what they weren't prepared to handle. Because you don't just need the success, you need the strength to sustain it. And that strength is only built through the fire of responsibility. You want to change your life? Take radical responsibility for all of it. Not just the parts that make you look good. Not just the parts that are easy to accept. All of it. The missed opportunities. The wasted time. The habits that drained you. The choices you kept repeating even when you knew better. Own them. Because when you own it, you can change it. Responsibility is not guilt, it's power. Blame keeps you weak. Responsibility makes you dangerous. Because when you finally accept that you are the author of this story, you stop waiting for a plot twist. You pick up the pen. You rewrite the script. And you start living like someone who means it. That's what this world needs. Men and women who mean it. Who don't just say the words, but embody them. People who live by principles, not pressure. People who understand that success is less about being gifted and more about being grounded in a personal philosophy that's stronger than your environment, your mood, or your past. So what's your philosophy? What do you believe about time? About work? About people? About yourself? Because your answers to those questions determine everything. See, Jim Rohn used to say, don't major in minor things. And most people are out here doing exactly that, scrolling, gossiping, worrying, avoiding, focusing on the things that have no eternal weight, while neglecting the things that actually shape their destiny. You must build your philosophy like you're building a cathedral. Thought by thought. Value by value. Brick by brick. Ask yourself, what will I no longer tolerate from myself? What does discipline mean to me? What is the purpose of my pain? Who do I want to become, and what would that version of me never do? These are not feel-good journal prompts. These are blueprints for transformation. You've got to live on purpose, not by default. Because the clock is ticking. And no one's pausing the game for you to figure it out. Your time is your life, disguised as minutes. Waste enough of them, and you'll wake up wondering where your potential went. So start protecting your time like it's sacred, because it is. Start protecting your mind like it's gold, because it is. And protect your energy like it's your only weapon, because it is. The world is noisy, loud, distracted, addicted to attention, approval, and ease. But you were not built for that. You were built for depth, for strength, for impact. And that means you're going to have to walk a different path. A narrow path. A path where discipline is non-negotiable. Where your feelings don't run the show. Where your future self is the loudest voice in the room. So decide today. Who are you becoming? Not who do you want to be. Not what do you hope will happen. Who are you deliberately becoming through your daily actions? Because if your habits are not in harmony with your hopes, you are lying to yourself. And the longer you live that lie, the further you drift from the life that could have been yours. But the good news? You can decide. Right here. Right now. You don't need another new year. You don't need another podcast. You don't need another inspirational quote. You need to decide. Decide that you are no longer available for mediocrity. Decide that your future is worth more than your excuses. Decide that comfort is the enemy of your calling. Decide that your word is law, especially to yourself. Because once you decide, everything changes. The world will start to bend toward you, not because it owes you anything, but because you're finally aligned with the laws that govern success. And the greatest of those laws? As you sow, so shall you reap. Not maybe. Not sometimes. Always. You sow laziness, you reap regret. You sow consistency, you reap momentum. You sow discipline, you reap freedom. You sow values, you reap legacy. It's not magic. It's not mystery. It's mastery. So here you are, standing at the edge. The edge of two lives, the one you're living, and the one that's possible. And you can feel it. Deep in your gut. The tension between who you've been and who you were always meant to be. You're not here by accident. You're here because something inside you knows. You were not made to live unnoticed. You were not made to wake up tired and uninspired. You were not made to merely exist. You were made to build, to lead, to rise. But you will never rise beyond the standards you set in secret. You will never grow past the boundaries you defend in your daily habits. You will never become a person of greatness if you keep living like someone waiting for permission to begin. So here's the final truth, the one no one wants to hear, but everyone needs to. Your future is not guaranteed. It is only guaranteed to the man or woman willing to pay the price. Not once. Not someday. Every day. The price is discipline when no one's watching. The price is self-respect when it's easier to lower your standards. The price is walking away from what is good in pursuit of what is great. Because average is always available. Comfort is always convenient. Mediocrity is always on sale. But the highest version of you, the one who walks with clarity, who speaks with fire, who builds something that lasts, that version of you is only revealed through adversity, through intentionality, through sacrifice. Yes, sacrifice. That word the modern world runs from. But the truth is, you are always sacrificing something. You're either sacrificing comfort for growth, or you're sacrificing your future for ease. You're either sacrificing your excuses for your dream, or sacrificing your dream to protect your excuses. So which is it going to be? Because this life, this one shot, it's not a rehearsal. You don't get to the end and negotiate your way back to the beginning. The clock doesn't pause when you're tired. The days don't wait for your confidence to catch up. And life doesn't apologize for the results you refuse to earn. So make a decision. Not a wish. Not a hope. A decision. That you will live on purpose. That you will take responsibility for everything. That you will speak truth to your own laziness and outgrow the man you were yesterday. That you will walk like someone who understands the power of time. That you will show up like someone who refuses to let talent go unused. That you will not be the one who almost made it. That you will not be the one who used to dream. That you will not be the one who lived on the edge of greatness and died in the arms of fear. Let the world play it safe. Let the average hide behind distraction and doubt. But not you. You were born to become uncommon. To think deeper. To act sharper. To rise stronger. To carry yourself like someone who knows, I do not wait for the storm to pass, I become the storm. So move. Act. Speak. Build. Choose. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Now. Because every day you wait, the life you could have lived moves further away. And one day, if you're not careful, you'll wake up and realize that the man or woman you could have become was buried beneath 1,000 tiny compromises. But not you. Because now you know. Success is not something you chase. It's something you attract. By the person you become. So become someone worth following. Not for the applause. Not for the fame. Not for the money. But because it's who you were born to be. You want to change your life? Then change you. Because this, right here, right now, is the moment everything turns. The moment you stop waiting. The moment you stop blaming. The moment you stop negotiating with weakness. This is the moment you decide. And once you do, there is no going back.